And a live look right now at Pensacola Bay Center in Florida, where the president is about to speak. He'll take the stage there to campaign-style rally. They're getting the group all ready for his arrival there, and we'll bring you that as soon as it happens. On the right-hand side, you see the airport where we're waiting for him to land near the Alabama state line there. The Alabama Senate race is front and center, of course, so you can see how close Alabama and that part of Florida are, and that may be the reason for choosing that site this evening. Today, candidate Roy Moore hit back at one of the women accusing him of sexual misconduct. Beverly Nelson has altered her story a bit about the much talked about yearbook inscription that was written decades ago. There was one line at the bottom, the date and the location, which she added later. So here's what the Moore campaign had to say about that a short time ago.
The truth is out there, and until she releases the yearbook, all we know is they're not telling the truth and they've lied. And under the Alabama pattern jury instructions, it tells a jury, if you believe that a witness has lied in anything, you can disregard everything they've said.
Fox's Peter Doocy live at the Trump rally in Pensacola with the story tonight for us. Hi, Peter.
Hi, Martha. The Moore campaign knows that most of his backers are going to be with him no matter what. But I've been texting back and forth with some Moore advisors this evening who say that what happened today goes a long way in helping them confirm what they have been trying to convince the public of, that this infamous yearbook inscription that one of his accusers says is the proof that Moore pursued her when she was a young teen is not exactly what it seems.
Nelson says she did make notes to the inscription, but the message was all Roy Moore.
Beverly, he signed your yearbook.
He did sign it.
And you made some notes underneath.
Yes.
But his accuser's attorney, Gloria Allred, now says that her client's story is legitimate, and she says that she's got proof.
The expert concluded that the signature and the handwritten notation above the signature on Exhibits 1 and 2 were prepared by Roy Moore. We are very happy to be able to announce this important expert opinion regarding Beverly's yearbook.
I asked the Moore campaign what it means for them now that this notorious yearbook inscription story has holes in it, and this is the response that I got. Holes? I'd say a forgery, whether in whole or in part, is more like a crater. Judge Moore has been vindicated, fueling an even stronger get out the vote effort, and I am very confident in victory next Tuesday. And Moore's attorneys think that this entire issue is now going to be behind them.
Gloria Allred came back again at the end when asked a question, with her client, Beverly Nelson, nodding in agreement that everything written on that page was written by Judge Moore. Well, today, it's a different story, isn't it? They're not saying that anymore.
There are a lot of Moore supporters here in Pensacola tonight at the Trump rally, but he is not expected to appear with the president less than a half an hour away from the Alabama border. Martha.
Thank you, Peter. Peter Doocy will be back there shortly. Chris Darwalt joins me now, Fox News politics editor, Guy Benson, townhall.com, political editor and a Fox News contributor, and Marianne Marsh, Democratic strategist and former senior advisor to former Secretary of State John Kerry. Great group. Thank you guys all for being here this evening. Hey, Chris, let me start with you. Your thoughts on what we're about to see in Pensacola tonight?
Well, I think we'll probably see classic Trump, classic campaign Trump. He has been in this region before. He's given speeches in Mobile before. We'll hear a lot about the great, huge, biggest bigly tax cuts. We'll hear about all of this stuff. What I don't know, and this is the $64,000 question, will Trump be able to resist going and talking about Moore by name? Will he be able to resist talking about fake news and using this thing about the line that she added under Moore's signature, say it's all fake news? And is he going to go into the space, or is he going to keep some distance?
Yeah, that is the question. You know, we just saw Peter Doocy's story all laid out there, Guy. How close does the president want to put himself to this situation? Does he want to speak about it specifically in those terms tonight, or does he want to just see what happens in Alabama on Tuesday and feel that, you know, he's sort of done what he can do?
Well, he hasn't been bashful on Twitter recently, has he?
No.
All caps, vote Roy Moore. So not subtle at all on that whole front. And I listened very carefully to Peter Doocy's report there, and I think that it's important to try to keep a few things straight. It is true, in my view, that this accuser has damaged her own credibility to a significant extent because Gloria Allred presented that entire inscription as written by Roy Moore, which we now know was not accurate. To say that now the whole thing is a forgery, or to say that the judge is completely vindicated, I think is a vast overstatement, especially because there are 8 other women who are involved in this. And one other very quick point, Martha. One of the Moore spokesmen there said that, oh, if you believe that the witness lied about one thing, you can believe they lied about everything.
Yeah.
If that standard was applied to Roy Moore, I think that that is not something he would want, because a previous accuser came out this week with a note that he wrote her in high school. Now, he claims that he does not know her at all. Now there's a signature that looks exactly like the one in the yearbook, same exact handwriting, that undermines his claim that he never knew any of these women.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
it's more of a mixed
they make
bag.
a very big leap when they get into discussions of this whole thing being thrown on its head, because she added a date and she added the place, and when you look at it, you can really see that it's different. Her handwriting is different underneath the rest of it. Honestly,
Sure.
I don't even know. I don't think it matters to Alabama voters. It doesn't appear that it does. So, Marianne, let's talk about it in terms of Doug Jones, who now has made this a tight race for a Democrat in a place where it hasn't been one in forever.
Right. I mean, that's the point, Martha. The fact that this is even a competitive race tells you everything about this whole situation in Alabama. It has been decades since a Democrat has won anything in Alabama. And certainly the fact is Moore has made it competitive by his out of mainstream behavior and his beliefs. Doug Jones has been a pretty good candidate, but it's a tough race. It's close, but it's tough. 4 things have to happen for Jones to win. 1, you need a low Republican turnout. Republicans who can't vote for Moore won't vote for Jones. You need a high turnout amongst women, suburban women, Democratic women, independent women. You need a very high turnout amongst African Americans in particular. And last but not least, you need a great GOTV operation. Now, the Democrats haven't had a plus rating in Alabama since 1976. So the fact that they could have any kind of GOTV operation is, I don't know, a little tough. But in a 3 to 5 point race, if that's what this is, low single digits, that you can overcome that with GOTV. Can the Jones campaign put that together and deliver on Tuesday when you have 9 times the request of absentee ballots you ever have for this race, and the Secretary of State's predicting a 25% turnout, about 825,000 voters on Tuesday?
It's going to be very interesting. In terms of the African-American vote, Doug Jones put out this flyer this week. It came from his office, right, Chris? And, that could be a concern for him, the way that it depicts this man in the picture. And, here's the new Doug Jones mailer. You see it below. Ostensibly, it means to, help to improve black turnout. But a lot of people were offended by it.
I don't know enough about that one to know how folks in Alabama are feeling about that. But Marianne makes a fantastically correct point, which is this. In a state like Alabama that used to be competitive, Richard Shelby was elected, by the way, as a Democrat. Republican Richard Shelby switched after he got elected in 1986. So a long time ago, it was a competitive state. But what happens when your state is uncompetitive for long enough is that your voters tune out. They go away. It's just like what happened in California. Republicans used to keep it close in California, but after enough defeats, you lose your verve. You start to get worse candidates and you fall apart. The question for African-American voters in Alabama is, do you feel like it's worth a try? Do you feel like it's worth a try this year, that you can send a message and that you can do this? And there's no guarantee that they will, but I would say that Doug Jones is running a smart campaign in this way. He's focused now very much on talking about Alabama's reputation and what it will say about Alabama to have one governor removed for a sex scandal and then have another senator and then have a senator elected under the cloud of one.
All right, guys, thank you very much. That's why we're going to be watching very closely on Tuesday night. Thanks for setting us up, for being ready for all of that.
Martha.
Thank you, guys. Good to see you all.